My name is Radha Prema and I'm really happy to see you here. And this presentation is just a very light version of a huge discussion on a very highly controversial vast topic, online education. And the whole topic sounds like online education, how to make the best of a bad bargain. Everyone understand what does that mean? How to make the best of a bad bargain. Actually, Srila Prabhupada used that saying, many times. So there is a deal and there is a bad deal. So maybe online education is a bad deal. And how to deal with that bad bargain. If I'm talking too fast, please tell me. Is it okay for now? Yes. Okay, good. So I'm 50 years old and I have more than 30 years of experience teaching adults in different kind of universities and plus Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava and so on. And I have more than 10 years of experience on online education. Before I have started my own online education as a student, I was a student before I started to teach online. So I went to Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. Anyone aware of what does that mean, Oxford Center of Hindu Studies? Not yet. Please go online and check what does that mean. It's a very interesting institution. And I did, that was around 12 years back, or maybe 13 years back, and I did there Ishopanishad course, because it's Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. So I did Ishopanishad course there. It was, okay, they are recording. I'm not going to share my feedback on that course. But there was very nice, I would like to discuss, and those details I got from my experience from that early course of that Oxford Center of Hindu Studies, Ishopanishad course. Please come in. And plus, after that, I've gone through that course, Ishopanishad course. That was a nice course, and I got some experience out of that. And then I was teaching on campus and online. And now I'm teaching mostly online. Even if I'm gonna talk about how to make the best of a bad bargain, I'm teaching mostly online now. Of course, that was a forced measure because everywhere and everyone was in lockdown, we all experienced that lockdown and again lockdown. We all went online, and some people live online now, and only online, unfortunately. So there are around 400 students I have now online. These are different types of students, neophytes, devotees, and experienced devotees, so it's a vast experience I'm getting now. And I would like to share that experience with you. When we say that online education might be a bad bargain, maybe we just not young enough. Maybe I'm an old woman, old-fashioned woman, and I don't know how does that work. Maybe I don't know something about technology. Maybe as an old lady, I don't like any kind of inventions. Not exactly like that. Let's imagine. We are all gathered together, but 5,000 years ago. And what happened 5,000 years ago? The writing was invented. You remember? Around 5,000 years ago. The writing was invented. Yeah. And just imagine, 5,000 years ago, here, Vyasadeva is here, and Narada Muni is here, and they're discussing the same topic we are discussing right now. And Vyasadeva is saying, well, Kali Yuga people are so degraded, they cannot memorize anything now, so we're supposed to invent that writing, and now we are getting the problem with that writing, and we have to write everything down. These people are just useless, and young generation is just not good at all, yeah? 5,000 years ago. So Vyasadeva took that invention and he wrote down everything, every single thing. So he made a very good job. It was a very good job, yeah? And now we can survive just because he did his job very well. Maybe online education is the same. So 5,000 years ago, that was writing invention, how to say, is it right English? Yeah. And now we have online education. Welcome to a new universe. Not exactly. You know why? Because when that writing was invented, Krishna, first of all, Krishna himself came as his own incarnation, as Srimad Bhagavatam. And we still have that Srimad Bhagavatam. And that Srimad Bhagavatam might be online. Why not? It's a nice use of all those techniques and technologies, yeah? But invention of online education is not the same. Let me give you another example. This invention is that type of Western culture invention. Let me give you an example from ancient Greece. Western culture had started from ancient Greece. So there was one nice example. Maybe you heard about that. Let me write it down. There was one very famous inventor, very famous. Daedalus was his name. Maybe you remember him because he had a son, Icarus. And he invented wings for his son to escape from one place and to reach the another place, the better place. So he invented the wings for his son. And his son took those wings. But he flew, he flew very far from the earth. And he went too close to the sun. So those type of wings just were ruined by the sun. And Icarus just fall down. And I guess he changed his body. So why we are talking about Daedalus now? What did you say? Daedalus now. Why we are talking about him? Because he was a famous inventor. But first thing he became famous for, he had a very nice competitor who competed with Daedalus. And he just pushed him away from Acropolis down. That was a famous inventor, Daedalus. And he pushed his competitor just down from Acropolis. And that's what is going on right now. Can you compare online education and on-campus education? All people went online during lockdown time, and they never came back. And now online education is a big challenge for offline education. Why is it so? Because people online, they have at least two main things they are not going to reject. So people went online and they got comfort. Just comfort. There is no need to run anywhere. There is no need even to dress properly. Just press the button, lying down on your sofa. That's it. So are we ready to reject that comfort and come for on-campus course? I'm not sure. And now we even prefer to press the button and be in the Holy Dham online instead of taking a risk, taking challenges to come for the Holy Dham, for parikrama on campus. Yeah? So that is a very big challenge now for on-campus education. It's not comfortable enough. And the second thing, which is very important about online education and how it's throwing away on-campus education, is control. As soon as we went for online education, and now we have buttons to press, yeah? Green one and red one. So who is in control of educational process? The student. The student. Anytime he can press a button and just go out. After all lockdowns we went through, my children who are now in university, they're studying in universities, different kind of universities. So my daughter shared her experience with me. After one lockdown, she went to university for classes, and before lockdowns, she couldn't tolerate online education. And now, after lockdown, she came for a class, and that was a difficult class for her, very difficult. And she found that she's always looking for a button to press to escape that class. Miraculously, escape the class. Just press the button and everything will be okay. So now the students, they got that control, not the teacher. Comfort and control in the hands of the students. Who is going to reject his or her own comfort? None. None of us already. None of us. And the sense of control. I'm controlling what is going on. So, you see, this is a challenge for online, for on-campus education. What else can we add to that? For example, going back to Daedalus. So, Daedalus is an example of online education which is pushing down offline education, on-campus education. But then what happened? So he pushed down his competitor, and then he invented nice wings, very nice wings, so he and his son would be able to escape from the prison and get better reality, better places to stay. And you remember what I was saying? His son got almost killed, yeah, by his father. So that invention, very nice invention, finished with the dead body of his son. What that analogy tells us is online education and any digital environment, digital space, actually killing us. And our scientists are not ready yet to give us many firm evidences. But some firm evidences are already there. For example, it's already proved that when we are talking with each other, sitting here, and I'm looking at Rasa Sundari Mata, and he's looking at me, and we are listening to each other, yeah, and we are entertaining, the whole, our psychological system and our brain is developing. It develops, and now it's we are using the total, total amount of our brains. We use the whole brain in whole. But when we are coming for digital space, what happens with us? When we are educating someone when we are studying something online through the screen and other digital technologies, other technologies, what happens with us? We are stimulating only part of our brains, only part, small part of our brain, and that part of our brains becomes overstimulated. And when that part is overstimulated, that means that the level of anxiety goes up and the level of depression goes up. This is 21st century. We are already sick with depression and anxiety. The level of anxiety already too high. And now we are making the situation even worse. We are raising up our anxiety and depression. What we are doing? We are killing our students. And by the way, we are killing the teachers as well. In different online projects, I have the same experience for already, so from 2020, yeah? Already almost 3 years, yeah? I have the same experience in different online projects. So some of the good teachers, they cannot continue anymore teaching online because the level of depression is too high. They cannot continue, they're quitting their service, that's it for them. Because it influences us and our students and teachers. It influences us. And some scientists say that there is a firm evidence that blue light is also influencing us. Maybe some people is not that sensitive to that blue light. Or that we don't know yet. But there are firm evidences that we are overstimulating our brains and it's not good for our health. What to say about sleep deprivation, which leads to different kind of psychological diseases. So shall we be happy about online education? Yes. If we know how to use it, if we know what is the nature of online education, how to use it properly, we can do it. Because you see, maybe writing invention, maybe also was forced measure. And online education is also became a forced measure. We didn't want to go online, but we were forced to go online. So it was a kind of forced measure, yeah? And now online education even becomes unavoidable evil. Yeah? It was forced measure during lockdown times, but now it's unavoidable evil. Everyone went for online education, and less people, just very little. Very few students came back for on-campus education. I remember those times when I was teaching Bhakti Shastri and there were 30 students, at least 30 students, 32, 3 students on campus. And now I may have 50 students online and 4 on campus. In ashram, where they supplied with every little thing. Can we imagine that situation? Anyway, so let's go further and let's find a way how to perceive that original nature of online education and how to use that. First of all, let me finish with Daedalus example. I would say it's a joke, by the way, but I would say it's Daedalus, yeah? So because of that influence of digital space, the student or a teacher, it can be said, what can be said? Dead, alas. Because many students just dead as the students now because of online education. They just cannot continue. And taking Vedic example for that, the same point, I would say it's online education we can perceive from some point of view as a Kali Chela or Kali Yuga personification. You remember the second part of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam? And there was Kali Yuga personification. So, and he came as a Shudra dressed in a king dresses. You remember that fact? So what I'm talking about, online education is kind of Shudra dressed in a king dresses. Why? Because you see, it's called education. Is it education at all? The concept of education given by Srila Prabhupada is like that. When he was talking about education, he was talking about education and culture. Education and training. Yeah, 1 second. Education and preaching. What did you say? Could you please repeat it? Yeah, culture. So education and culture, education and training, education and preaching, education and devotional service. So his concept of education was really wide. So preaching, culture, training, devotional service, that's all mean education. It's all that's connected for him with education. Education cannot be without culture. Education cannot be without training. That was the purpose. Training people. Or we can say education and character building, yeah? It's not just education. Can you imagine the situation when you are trained as a brahmachari or as a yogi online? How do you like that, yeah? Become a yogi online. Not possible. It's not education at all. We call it online education, but it's Kali Yuga personified. Shudra dressed in a king dresses. It's not Kali, it's not education at all. But what is that? Let me show you a hint. Okay, so before it became online education, the king's dresses, yeah? Education. Not at all. Before it was called learning. It was called distant learning. And now we can call it digital distant learning. Just digital distant learning. That's it. It's not education. What is the difference between learning and education? Do you know the difference between learning and education? Learning is just a part of education, the small one, usually responsible for information consuming. Yeah? And okay, so if we will call that online education, digital distant learning, that will be okay for us. So let's call it just dead alas. Digital distant learning. Okay. Because education itself is a huge area, including culture, training, devotional service, preaching, and so on. So let's go further. That is it possible to make that digital distant learning and education, to convert it to education and training? Is it possible? Thank you. Because impossible is a word from Fool's Dictionary. Yeah? So let's just make it as possible, as much as we can. Okay? For that we have to know what is the problem with online education. Actually, the problems are the same as for on-campus education. Okay, let's take this one. What are the 4 main problems with on-campus education? And those problems becomes even worse in digital distant learning. Yes, absolutely. Discipline. What about motivation? So this is kind of preliminary step we shall do now. So just imagine you are on campus and you have some discipline, you have some motivation, and you are meeting people, and they have some motivation, and they have some discipline, and you support each other. But when we go online, no discipline, just be comfortable, yeah. Take your time, whatever, yeah. Go and sleep. Take prasadam while studying, why not, yeah? So no discipline and no motivation. So what we can do to overcome that, it's actually huge, and it's not even main problem, but it's even preliminary problem. To study, to start to study, you already have to have that discipline and motivation. And let me share my experience, what we can do. And you please think what you can do on your place. On campus, when people come, they already come in a conscious of the student. They come to study. But when people enter the course, online course, they are not in the same consciousness. No way they are the students. They are consumers. So to help them to become the student, we have to put extra efforts. If, for example, I'm like Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava teacher, and when it's on campus course, I shall not worry about that. People come, they put effort, they pay money to come to the Holy Dham to study Bhakti Shastri here. So they already put a lot of efforts to come, and they pay money to come, and they pay. They give their time away to study. But people online don't accept them as the students. Just think about them as about consumers. So now this is our service, to convert them from consumers to the students. What to do? This is now a service. This is now a service. Our service. Okay, so consumer. Oh, it doesn't work. 1 second. Consumer. Student. Any suggestions how we can do it online? Yes, Mother.
Make them more interactive. Ask them questions, let them talk.
Thank you. So we have to be extra interactive. Before, when I was a teacher and I'm a teacher with such a huge experience, but and I'm an interactive teacher. But now, how you can perceive me now? I feel like, because I'm teaching online all the time now, almost 24 hours a day, I feel like in real life, I'm a little bit extra interactive. I'm a little bit extra energetic. Can't you feel like that? This is just a habit now. Because teaching online, you have to be extra powerful, extra energetic, reaching people behind the screen, from the other side of the screen, So you have to put more energy. Whatever you do, you smile. And if you are crying, you cry. So it's just, and we can say this is a bad bargain. Because we never will be able to see those people. We can see them online. We can see them online, but in real life, we won't be maybe able to see them, not in this lifetime, yeah? Maybe next lifetime, we don't know. And this is a bad bargain. It seems like we have to put a lot of energy to people we will be never able to see them. Yeah? But maybe this is called pure devotional service. You just put a lot of energy without waiting for results and even not knowing what kind of results you can expect. Just preach out. That's it. Yeah? And you have to do it, and nobody is going to say you thank you. Because people on the screen usually don't like to say thank you. They just like to press the buttons, you know. Green one, red one, almost never say thank you, never saying thank you. Just put a lot of energy without being attached to the results. But if you would like to get results, so we have finished with that part, yeah? More energy. We have to put more energy. We will come back to that part if we will have enough time. So please don't be illusioned. That was the point. Don't be illusioned. They are not the students. They are consumers. So deal with them properly and convert them to the students first, and then educational process will be possible. Yeah? And so that was kind of preliminary study. Yeah? Now, educational process. Even on campus, we have 4 main problems. Let me share with you. Even on campus study, it's might be highly impersonal. What to say about online study? It is impersonal. And we are going to talk about how we can overcome that. So it's impersonal, how to make it personal. There are some logical steps how to make it personal. For example, usually, but this is my case. Maybe it won't be the same with you. But in my case, I try to take people online only if I know them personally. For example, if I met them on different kind of retreats, festivals, different kind of programs, first, so I'm accepting people as students only if I know them personally, even met them at least once, at least twice, just talk a little bit with them, not online, but in real life. That's how we can, you are gonna put a lot of energy to all of your students. If you want to be more efficient, if you want to be more effective, I would suggest you please take, for real educational process, please take people whom you know. It will be more efficient, more effective. For just preaching program, please take each and every one. Why not? But for real educational process, please take people whom you know, at least a bit. So what else can we do here? I would really suggest before the person will come for a group, before a person will come for a group study, offer at least 1 or 2 online consultations about education, about further future curriculum, about schedule, but make it in pair. It's like individual consultation. It's online, but it's individual. As soon as you are starting to get personal relationship with the student, the level of dedication, discipline, motivation goes up. If the student never talked with you, at least online, individually, the level of motivation, discipline, dedication goes down. So please talk individually with each and every student. Moreover, please every week make a task which would suggest the student to pair up with some other student. It must be done regularly. it must be their sadhana to meet up in pairs. Yes, online, but it's still in pairs, not in a huge group, in pairs. At least once a week on 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And how to make it from impersonal to personal. I know that there are some online projects, and there are, for example, Zoom conference. Everyone knows what does that mean? Oh, yeah, sure. So Zoom conference, one teacher, 100 students. I personally never do like that. I prefer always work with small groups. For preaching, please take 10,000 for preaching. But real education process, please make small groups. And this small group, 5 to 15 people, 5 to 20 people, they meet every week, once, every week for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, and they discuss in details recorded lecture. So the lecture itself might be recorded, why not? But discussion must be made once, at least once a week in a small group. So work with small groups. Let me check the time. Okay, good. What else can be done here? Any suggestions from your side? How to make impersonal education more personal? Entertaining, yeah? Yeah. Yes, thank you. It's not possible if you are one and there are 100 students. But it is possible if you are one and there are 5, 15, 30, 50 students already not possible. 30, yes. Thank you for your question. Very nice. Yes, so you see we have different formats for classes. This is one online lecture for a week, plus one group discussion online in Zoom, like Zoom conference, 5 to 15 people. Yeah? And plus the homework to pair up with a certain student and discuss the questions arised. So yes, it's Bhakti Shastri. So it's, you see, online we have to work differently. We have to find new formats to make impossible possible. Okay, so the second problem is even on-campus education tends to be about information. What to say about digital distant learning? It's almost all about information. But it's not what we would like education to be. Yeah? So we would like to move it to values. Yeah? And this is a problem even for on-campus education. Go to any campus, to any institution, and almost all the courses are about information. But we need transformation courses. So don't inform people, transform people, help them to transform their life. So it must be not about information, but about transformation. Here we are getting the problem. If it's a problem even for online or even for on-campus courses, it's all about information, yeah? So how we may make transformation online? Is it possible to transfer values online? How the students are going to perceive that the teacher is following? How the teacher can show that he or she is following? It's very difficult, by the way. We don't know who is that person sitting nearby us, even on campus education. What to talk about online education? So what to do, yeah? Here is a secret, Krishna conscious secret. There are two secrets, and one is very Krishna conscious secret. In our case, if we are talking about Krishna conscious education, even if it's just information, it's okay. You remember all the stories about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada? If there is just once written Hare Krishna in any article, this is a success. Even if the article itself is blaming devotees, but it's written there, Hare Krishna. So this is a success. Yeah? So in our case, in the case of Krishna consciousness education, even if it's information level of education, it's still success because that information is about Krishna. So let's talk about Krishna. But if we would like to worry about values as well, what we can do. And this is the second secret. And that secret works in any type of online education. You remember we were talking how we were using different formats? Not like on-campus courses, but different formats for online education, yeah? And here there is a secret, how we can move it slightly to values. Through skills, by the way. Skills are also, how you're gonna develop any kind of skills online? You have to be very clever to get the people any new skills, yeah? To help them to develop that skills online. So you have to be over active on that sense, yeah? But there is a secret as well. Let me give you an example. For example, let's say it's Bhakti Shastri course. Whose lectures you are gonna distribute for Bhakti Shastri course? Whose lectures are gonna be available? Who is a lecturer for your Bhakti Shastri students? Who has to be a lecturer? Who is that powerful lecturer who can transmit values through online education? Who it could be? Can you do that? Are you that powerful? Are you that powerful to transmit values through online? No way. But once upon a time, 10 years back, one Nobel Prize winner started an online course. But he was Nobel Prize winner, yeah? And he had started the course. And that was a wonderful course. Usually, only around 5% of the students are able to finish the course. Only 5%. Moreover, some scientists say that only 3% of people enrolled opened the course. 3% of people who are enrolling the course open the course, even if they pay. And only out of them who open the course, 5% only gonna finish the course. But not in the case with Nobel Prize winner. 87% of the students gone through the course and finished the course. So let me ask you again, whose lectures you are going to recommend to your students? Your lectures? Of course. And who is that one who is more experienced? It might be Srila Prabhupada. It might be a spiritual master. Yeah? Maharaj. Please, let's be humble. We are not that powerful. And this is online education, which is something strange anyway. And who is that powerful person who can reach the students even through the screen? It's not me. Definitely. So if you are going to recommend the lecture for your Bhakti Shastri course, please recommend lectures which are powerful. So what is your role in this case? Srila Prabhupada is recorded lecture. Yeah, there are recorded lectures by Srila Prabhupada, and plus spiritual master have their own courses, fortunately. But what about you? So you are not needed anymore. No, we are needed, because those students who are running for that Nobel Prize winner, they have to discuss with someone who is experienced in discussion, in interaction, and they have to discuss that Nobel Prize winner's lecture with someone who is more experienced than them. So this is, I would say, my humble recommendation. Please, let them listen, but not you, your spiritual master. Don't try to attract people to yourself. What they will get from you. Attract them to the real spiritual masters and just help them to go through that experience. So what is your role now to make that that education more valuable, more transformative? What is your role? Just moderator, just supporter, just friend, just maybe senior friend, that's it. So please know your role. Anyway, so let's go further. There are a few more problems here. Discuss them, but I just would, because there is not enough time now, but I would like you to count them anyway and to keep them in mind. Somehow you have to help your students. They are all alone and isolated. Somehow you have to help them to become socialized in within Vaishnava community. How are you going to do it? How you are going to socialize them? Because this is a point. We have to be socialized in Vaishnava community. That's how we can go through dadati, pratigrihnati, guhya, makiti, prichhati, bhunte, bojete, chaivaya. That's how we can build up relationship with Vaishnavas. That's how we are going to be always in sadhu sangha, sat sangha. We have to be socialized in Vaishnava, within Vaishnava community. So how are we going to do it online? I have students all around the world. I don't know what they're doing in their homes. But at least what I can do, there always must be a task to go to your preaching center. For example, we have a different kind of tasks. Let me give you an example. The homework might be, go to your nearest preaching center and try to ask for a service, some small service. Come back and please share with me different kind of insights you have out of that. What else we can do? Devaki Mata is here. So let me finish fast. Yeah, we are going to finish within 2 minutes. So this is about socialization. And I'm going to just give you few more points on online education, how to make it more effective, more sufficient. Yeah? Please look carefully who is your student. If it's a neophyte devotee, he won't survive if your classes will be once a week. Once a week is very good for a devotee who already gone through, I don't know, Vaishnava etiquette, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, who is doing Bhakti Vedanta. He is okay with the classes once a week. He is very well socialized devotee. So once a week for that devotee is okay. But if it's a neophyte devotee, what I'm doing usually, we meet every day. Maybe only for 15 minutes. 15 minutes classes. But every day. Because they won't survive unless you are going to support them every day. So usually in on-campus education, we have 2 hours lecture a week, for example, yeah? But here, just divide the 2 hours, and there will be 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, but every day. So now you see the, what you can do from the beginning for neophyte devotees and what can be done for experienced devotees. So now you know that for neophyte devotees, you have to go through classes every day. And for experienced devotees, you can relax. They are very well socialized. They are not impersonal, they are personal. They know the value of the life and the value of devotional service. You don't need to impress them, but you have to put like 100 times more energy to neophyte devotees. So divide that time for neophyte devotees, be with them every day, make it like your sadhana and make it their sadhana. That's how they will get a habit to be with the devotees. That's how they will be developing their relationship with the devotee and so on. So there are much more to say. Thank you so much. We have to finish. Yeah, so we are finished in time. Thank you so much for coming. If you have any other questions, we can stay outside. So we don't want to disturb the next presentation. Hare Krishna.